John Wick crashes an SUV into a wall. He stumbles out of the vehicle, bloodied and injured. He applies pressure to a stab wound in his abdomen. As he crawls to the side, he pulls out his phone and watches a video of his wife, Helen, on the beach. John slumps over and closes his eyes. Just days ago, he awoke to a cloudy morning. Memories flood back of his time with Helen, right up until the moment she collapsed in his arms. She suffered from an illness that ultimately took her life. Today is her funeral. After the service, John's old friend Marcus approaches him to express his condolences. That evening, a delivery arrives for John. It's a small beagle. He discovers a note from Helen, in which she tells him she has made peace with her death and now wants him to find his own peace. John breaks down in tears. He takes the dog outside and notices its collar, adorned with a flower, leading him to realize that Helen named the dog Daisy. Daisy accompanies John throughout his day as he drives his Mustang. He stops for gas at the same time as 3 Russian mobsters, including ISF Tarasov, the son of mob boss Vigo Tarasov. ISF approaches John's car, admires it, and inquires about its price. John replies that it's not for sale. ISF then moves towards Daisy, but John intimidates him away. One of ISF's associates leans into the car and wishes John a good day. Later, as John is getting into bed, Daisy needs to go outside. When they reach the downstairs area, 2 men lurk in the shadows before John, while a third swings a bat and strikes John in the head. He begins to assault John as Daisy whimpers. One of the men approaches the dog and snaps her neck. The assailant removes his mask to reveal ISF, who then knocks John unconscious. John eventually regains consciousness and goes to Daisy, gently stroking her head. ISF takes John's car to a shop owned by Aurelio. Aurelio instantly recognizes the vehicle and demands to know where ISF acquired it. ISF boasts about who he stole the car from and mentions that he killed this person's dog. In response, Aurelio punches ISF in the face. Later, John visits the shop and inquires if ISF had been there, to which Aurelio confirms that ISF is the one who took his car and killed his dog. Later that night, Vigo calls Aurelio to ask why he hit ISF. Aurelio explains that it was because ISF stole John Wick's car and killed his dog. Vigo simply responds, "Oh." John then takes a sledgehammer into the basement and starts smashing the floor. He discovers a hidden stash of guns and bullets. Vigo meets ISF at his home to talk about the situation. He punches his son twice in the stomach as a reprimand, reminding him of the crime he just committed. Vigo tells ISF that John was once associated with him until he met Helen and chose to leave. John had a reputation as the Boogeyman, or the one they called to eliminate the Boogeyman. Vigo tries to call John to resolve the issue, but John hangs up on him. Vigo sends a group of masked hitmen to John's house to kill him. However, John anticipates their arrival and takes them out effortlessly. He shoots them down and ends up fighting the last few, ultimately stabbing the final guy through the heart. John then contacts a cleanup crew to handle the bodies. This isn't their first time working with John, and they know it won't be the last. Vigo meets with Marcus and asks him to eliminate John Wick for a new contract worth $2 million. He also tells his assistant Avi to reach out to others for the job. Marcus agrees. John checks into the Continental Hotel to conduct his business. While there, he spots a familiar face, Perkins. He also reconnects with an old friend, Winston, as they search for ISF. Later that night, Marcus climbs to the rooftop of the building across the street, readying his rifle to take aim at John's room. Through the mirror, he notices someone entering. He fires a warning shot to alert John. It's Perkins, who immediately starts shooting at him while he attempts to evade her. She informs him that Vigo has increased the bounty if she violates the hotel's rules. Eventually, John manages to get Perkins in a headlock and offers her a chance at mercy in exchange for ISF's whereabouts. She reveals that ISF is in the bathhouse downstairs. John then knocks Perkins unconscious and leaves her with his associate, Harry. John enters the club/bathhouse where ISF and his crew are hanging out. The moment they see him, he opens fire, while ISF makes a run for it. John takes down every hitman in his way, but ISF escapes in a getaway car. Meanwhile, Harry has Perkins handcuffed to a chair, not realizing she has dislocated her thumb to free herself. She manages to escape and smothers Harry with a pillow before shooting him. Next, John heads to a church where Vigo hides his secret stash of cash. After taking out the other goons inside, John forces the priest to lead him to the money. He sets it all ablaze. Vigo learns about the fire just moments before he is caught in a barrage of gunfire from John. Although he eliminates most of Vigo's men, John is knocked out when an SUV collides with another vehicle, sending him sprawling. Vigo seizes him and questions why John has gone to such lengths for revenge. John reveals to him that the dog was a present from his terminally ill wife, and that ISF has taken that away from him. Vigo leaves him with his henchmen, instructing them to suffocate him using a plastic bag. However, Marcus is observing from the adjacent building and shoots one hitman in the head, allowing John to deal with the other. John retrieves his gun and fires at Vigo's escape vehicle, leaving only Vigo alive. Forced to comply, Vigo informs John that ISF is hiding in a safe house located in Brooklyn. The safe house is protected by armed guards, but that doesn't deter John from eliminating them and storming inside. ISF attempts to flee once more, but John apprehends him and finishes him off. In revenge for ISF's demise, Vigo orders his goons to locate Marcus and bring him to Vigo's residence. There, they give him a severe beating until Vigo and Perkins execute him. Vigo then calls John to inform him of this, just before boarding a helicopter to escape. Before reaching the helicopter, Perkins is confronted by 4 men led by Winston, who accuses her of violating the Continental's rules. The 4 men then carry out her execution. John discovers Marcus's lifeless body and sets out to take down Vigo. He spots the villains heading towards the helicopter and attempts to ram them with his car. Vigo commands Avi to exit and kill John, but John collides with him using his vehicle. Vigo tries to push John's car off the edge, but John manages to escape unharmed. The two then engage in a hand-to-hand combat in the rain. Vigo attempts to stab John, but John drives the blade into himself before seizing it and plunging it into Vigo's neck. He leaves him to perish. We return to the initial scene where John is still bleeding. After viewing the video with Helen, he feels motivated to continue. He enters a dog shelter to tend to his stab wound. He then adopts a dog and they head home together.